Have you ever been surrounded by people and still felt completely alone? Not alone like nobody was there, alone like nobody was really there for you. Like you were in the middle of everything and somehow still on the outside of it. Like you could disappear mid conversation and nobody would notice for a while. That's a special kind of loneliness, and I think it's the worst kind. Because at least when you're by yourself, the loneliness makes sense. You're alone, you feel alone, it adds up. But you're in a full room, surrounded by noise and people and laughter, and you still feel that emptiness. That's when it really gets to you, because you can't even explain it without sounding ungrateful. You can't say, I feel alone without someone pointing at the room and saying, but look at all these people. I know, I see them, that's not the point. I think about this one specific moment, it wasn't dramatic, nothing happened. I was just sitting there in the middle of a conversation, people talking around me, and I had this sudden feel like I was watching everything from behind the glass. Like I was physically present but completely disconnected from everything happening around me, and nobody noticed. The conversation kept going, the laughing kept happening, and I just sat there feeling like a ghost in my own life. And I smiled because that's what you do. You smile and you nod. You say something at the right moment so nobody thinks anything is wrong. You perform being present because actually being present stopped feeling possible at some point, and you don't even remember when. I used to feel this a lot in online spaces too, group chats, game lobbies, servers with people I've known for a while. You'd think that would be different. You'd think being behind the screen would make it easier. You can be in a VC with five people laughing and still feel like you're not really a part of it. Like everyone else is connected to each other in some way that just doesn't quite include you. Like there's an inside to the group and you're hovering just the outside of it. And you laugh at the jokes and you play the game, and from the outside everything looks fine, but inside you're just sitting there wondering why you feel so far away from everything. I think part of it is that being around people and being seen by people are completely two different things. You can be around people every single day and still go weeks without feeling truly seen, without someone asking you something real, without a conversation that goes below the surface. Just interaction after interaction that feels like it's skimming top of everything without ever actually landing. And you start to wonder if it's you, if there is something about you that keeps people at a certain distance. Like maybe you give off this energy that says, I'm fine, don't worry about me. And just, people take it. And you want them to dig a little. You want someone to say, no, but how are you actually? But they don't. And you don't know if it's because they don't care or because you've gotten too good at seeming okay. Probably both. There's this thing happens in friend groups where everyone has their role, and somewhere along the way your role become the one who's just kind of there. Not the funny one, not the one everyone's always checking on, not the one people get excited to see, just there. Reliable, consistent, present. And those things sounds like compliments, but they're not really compliments. When what they mean is forgettable, when what they mean is that your absence wouldn't change anything. And you feel that even if nobody says so. You feel it in a way conversation form without you at the center. In the way plans get made and you're added as an afterthought. In the way people talk over you without meaning to. In the way your stories get half listened to while everyone waits for the next thing. You're there, you're just not there in the way that matters. I remember being in a VC once, big group, everyone going, and I said something, and there was just this half seconds of silence, and then someone said something entirely different, and the conversation moved on. Nobody came back to what I said. And it was small, it was so small, but I felt it everywhere. That specific feeling of saying something into a room and watching it disappear, like your words have no weight. Like you could be unmuted or muted at, it would roughly make a difference. So you go quieter, not because you have nothing to say, but after enough times of your words not landing, you start to save them. You start to only speak when you're sure it will matter. And then you realize you're barely speaking at all. And people don't notice it either. They don't notice when you go quieter. They don't notice when you stop contributing as much. They don't notice the withdrawal because you were never loud enough for the silence to register as a change. That's the invisible thing about being invisible. Nobody sees it happening. I think the loneliest I've ever felt wasn't by myself. It was at something that was supposed to be fun, surrounded by people I knew. People who liked me, who would call me a friend, who would be surprised if I told them how I felt in that moment. And I just remember looking around the room and feeling this wave of something. Not sadness exactly, just distance, like everyone was tuned into a frequency I couldn't just pick up. Like there was a warmth in the room that I could see but not feel. And I went home that night and sat in the quiet and felt more comfortable than I had all evening because at last the quiet was honest. At least when you're alone, the loneliness is straightforward. It doesn't pretend to be something else. The loneliness in a full room pretends. It wears the costume of a good time. It looks like friendship and laughter and connection. And you're standing in the middle of it, wondering why nobody's reaching you, wondering if you're broken, wondering if other people feel this too, or if it's just you standing behind the glass while everyone else actually lives their life. I think a lot of people feel this and don't have a word for it because it doesn't fit the usual definition of lonely. You're not isolated, you're not without people, you have friends, you get invited to places. So, how can you be lonely? That's what people will say if you try to explain it. But you're not lonely for people, you're lonely for connection. And those are completely different things. You can have 100 people around you and still be starving for one real conversation. One moment where someone actually sees you, one interaction that doesn't feel like it's just passing, but actually means something. And that hunger doesn't go away just because the room is full. If anything, it just gets louder because the contrast is right there in front of you. All these people, all this noise, and still nothing is reaching the part of you that actually needs to be reached. I don't think the answer is finding more people. I think the answer is finding the right ones, the ones who notice when you go quiet, the ones who come back to what you said, the ones who make you feel like the room would actually be different without you in it. Those people exist, and when you find them, even one of them changes everything. Because suddenly you know what it feels like to be in a room and actually be there. Not performing, not watching from behind the glass, just there, fully, finally. And you realize that's all you ever wanted, not a full room, just a real one.